What's going on, TTC, BBN, Falcons fans? Wow. Unbelievable, huh? You know, I have a saying that I live by when it comes to football, and what that saying is that the greatest teams, wait a minute, it's not always the teams with the best records or the best reputation that wins. It's the team who has the ability to survive that wins. And that's just the philosophy that I live by. Because, if you always think that you're going to dominate somebody every time that you play, I feel like that's kind of a sign of disrespect. And I kind of feel like you're kind of underestimating your opponent in a sense. But you could still go out and feel like you're going to win the game. But if it just so happens that the opponent that you're facing, no matter what the paper says or how they look on paper, if your opponent comes out and they're playing just as hard as you are, and you do get into a close game and say it is getting ugly, but at the same time your team still has the courage and still has the mental toughness to survive all of that and still win the game, that's the sign of a great team. So I think the Atlanta Falcons are slowly but surely building themselves up to that point, and I think a great display of that was shown today. I really think so, because I knew what Carolina was going to do, man. I knew they were going to come out here, and I knew they were going to bring it. All trash talking aside, all joking on them and saying what I said, I knew realistically when it came down to the game, I knew Carolina was going to bring it. Not for 1 minute did I think that Atlanta was going to dominate this team or blow them out. I thought we were going to win the game. I always think that. I always think my team's going to win. Don't get me twisted now. Don't get me wrong. I always think my team's going to win. I'm always confident in my team all day, every day. 100,000%. But in no way did I think that this game was going to be a blowout. Because, when you look at it, Carolina had something to prove too. They just came off a horrible loss to the Super Bowl champion New York Giants. Basically got their asses kicked, at home. So they were pissed off, they were motivated, and they were determined that they were going to come out and they were going to play better. And they were going to show people that, what happened to them against the Giants, was just a bad day. And, in their minds, they were like, okay, what better way to redeem ourselves than beating an NFC rival in their own building? Know what I'm saying? I'm just being real. And I hope most of you Falcons fans out there can feel me on this, because I'm just being real. Carolina had something to prove too. Yeah, we sit up and we talk about them and all this other stuff, but realistically, you got to give it up to them. They had something to prove. They had something to play for today. And boy, did they come out and do it. I wasn't expecting them to score the first touchdown. I thought we would have at least scored first on offense. I thought we would have at least scored first. But, after that 3 and out, man, I was saying to myself, I was like, wow, this is gonna be one of those days that we're gonna struggle and gonna really have to earn a win. I just had that vibe going into the game because I knew Carolina was gonna play that hard. You know what I'm saying? So, I knew it was coming, man. That's just the realist that I am. You know. I mean, yeah, it would have been nice to see Atlanta dominate Carolina, because on paper we're better than Carolina. I still think we're better than Carolina. But at the same time, you know, whoever we face, they're going to play hard because they want to win too, in all honesty. So, yeah. But with that being said, man, we showed our guts. You know, we showed our poise. And, you know, we showed why I believe we're one of the best teams, not only in the NFC, but in the NFL. Period. You know what I'm saying? So, but going on to the real specific parts of the game, I know everybody's gonna criticize the defense about the run defense, which is rightfully so critical. It's something to be critical on, because it's something that we do have to get better at. But I said in my previous video, when I was breaking this game down, I said Cam Newton is going to throw that option offense at us. I told y'all what was going to happen. I knew Cam Newton was going to run that read option because it's been working for Carolina and they've been successful with it. So I knew they were going to throw it at us, and it is a very difficult offense to stop because, number one, you don't see it in the NFL every day, and number two, you don't know where the ball's coming. Well, you don't know where the ball's going, because the quarterback has plenty of options. That's why they call it the read option. You know, he can hand it off to his back, he can fake it to the back and pass it, or, you know, he could just take the ball and run it himself and make a play himself. So it's a very tricky, effective offense to stop. But I said also that Atlanta would eventually find a way to stop it, and by golly, we did, when it mattered the most, you know. But I do agree with a couple of videos that I've seen from fellow Falcons fans, Sports Live and Fantasy Football, about the run defense, and I do agree. It is something that we do have to improve on. I will agree with y'all on that. But you know, I think we will. You know, I just think that what it is I think we just got to make a better effort of tackling, which we haven't done a bad job of, you know, but we just got to close out on running backs a lot faster. I think that's what that is. I think we just, you know, got to we just got to take good angles, and we've got to meet them like right at the point of attack. Because there are some situations where I've seen you know, us on run defense where we'll kind of rush the tackle and we end up missing, and then boom, the running back gets a big gain of XYZ yards. So yeah, we've definitely got to, you know, be more more patient, and we've got to take, like I said, better angles, and, you know, just sharpen up the technique a little bit more, and you know, meet the running back at the point of attack. You know, like I said, close him out early. You know, don't even let him, you know, even get a tidbit of space. You know. So yeah, I do agree. The run defense definitely has to pick up, but I believe it will. I mean, our defense has played well throughout this first half of the season, so I think they're critical of themselves, number one, and I think that they want to be so good to the point where they don't want to miss any tackles. So I do believe that our run defense will get better, and I believe they will improve on that. But overall, man, the defense did great. I noticed that Sports Live, I know he's been real critical about the pressure and the sacks and stuff like that. I mean, here's my thing. I look at that a couple of different ways. I mean, yeah, sacks are good because it takes away the momentum of the quarterback. It stops the quarterback from even getting the ball out of his hands, and it keeps him contained in the pocket. But at the same time, I feel like if you can just get pressure on the quarterback and just make him think and just get him off of his spot in the pocket, I feel like that's just as good as sacking him. I mean, yeah, of course you want to get the quarterback on the ground. Yeah, I would love for us to get a sack every game. But also, I'm honest enough to know that sacks are not as easy to come by. I mean, they're not impossible to get, but at the same time, what you see is what you get. I mean, if we're able to get pressure on the quarterback and get him off his spot and have him throw the ball away, that's just as good as getting him on the ground. So I mean, yeah, in my opinion, sacks are good, but I feel like getting pressure on the quarterback and actually getting him off of his spot and making him have to run around and look downfield twice and rush him and make him throw the ball inaccurately or make him throw it away altogether, I feel like that's just as good as getting him on the ground. But at the same time, now, don't get me wrong, I would love to get quarterbacks on the ground. But I think our defense did a good job getting pressure on Cam. Because I mean, give Cam credit too. I mean, Cam is, he's fast, and he's very physical as well. So I mean, you have to give Cam a little credit too. I mean, yeah, I want our defense to get pressure on him and put him on the ground. But like I said, the guy's just as big as any of our defenders out there. Not making any excuses, I'm just saying. When you just have those athletic gifts that Cam Newton has, sometimes you're not going to be able to stop him, but what you can do is contain him, and I feel like that's what we did. I felt like we contained him enough to where he made some mistakes. So there you go. So yeah. So I'm not really worried about the whole pressure sack thing. I think the sacks will come. I think just as long as we just keep getting pressure on the quarterbacks and making them having to think and make quick decisions like we've been doing, I think we should be fine. So just in my opinion, I think the sack thing is not that big of a deal. I think they'll come. I think everybody's a little bit too critical on sacks because they just like watching the quarterback get on the ground, which is nice to see. That's what you want to do. But at the same time, I feel like getting pressure on the quarterback and just getting him out of that spot in the pocket is just as effective as putting him on the ground. That's just my opinion. But overall, the defense came through. They forced a fumble on that last drive of the game, and the Panthers had to punt it because I believe there's a rule in the NFL where you can't something about you can't convert on a fumble or something, or you can't make a play on a fumble. I don't know, but it's something where you can't you can't run something after you fumble the ball. So that was good good play by our defense. And as far as our offense is concerned, you know, like I said, we did get off to a rough start. You know, came out kind of flat, kind of slow. But I knew the second time around, I knew we would get our rhythm back, and I knew we would start to click. And once we did, I knew we would score, which, as you saw, resulted in a touchdown. So, yeah, I really wasn't worried about the offense. I mean, you know, that happens. I mean, you know, we're not going to come out and just, you know, completely just blow the game wide open every game. But just as long as we score and put points on the board, I don't care. I mean, I don't care how long it takes us to do it. Just as long as we score enough points on the board to win the game. That's all I care about. Just win at any cost. That's my whole mindset, you know. But yeah, overall, hell of a game by the Falcons, man. We really earned this one, although I think Carolina earned it just as much as we did, because they almost did come away with a very big win, or what would have been a very big win for them. So again, you know, much credit to the Panthers. You know, y'all definitely have nothing to be ashamed of, although at the same time y'all do, because my Falcons still kicked y'all ass and we still made y'all eat y'all cat shit. So there you go. But no, in all seriousness though, you know, the Panthers, y'all brought it. Y'all brought it, man. That's probably like the best I've seen y'all play against us in a long, long time, offensively and defensively. So, you know, y'all played well. I gotta give it to y'all. Y'all played well. Shout outs, man. Michael Turner. Wow. Boy, he picked a hell of a time to play his best game. I mean, you know, he was kind of, I mean, he wasn't doing bad, but it was like he was looking kind of average, I'll call him. But today, he was just on. Straight up, he was on. And he certainly proved me wrong by being able to catch that little short screen that Matt threw to him, and he took it all the way upfield for the touchdown. So, you know, I'll never say Turner can't catch ever again. So, yeah, man, that's what's up. Roddy White, what can you say? Clutch. You know, that's typical Roddy White. He's been doing that, making big plays, you know, for us ever since I started watching him play. So, you know, that really doesn't surprise me. You know, that's what Roddy does, man. Roddy comes through, you know, when the time matters the most. So, yeah. Julio had an off day today. I mean, you know, that happens. You know, it's just one of those days. I guess it was just Roddy's day today, which is fine. Just as long as we won, I don't care. So, but yeah, man. What else do I want to say? Oh yeah, big ups to Dante Robinson. Come a long way, man. I'm proud of you. Yeah, that's it, man. Falcons win a hard-fought game. We 4-0, man. Moving on up. What else can I say? I'm out like cable power. Peace.